Dark whiskey. All right, as you can see, I got your stuff. Now, I'm a little bit confused because actually you did ask me for an extension and you mentioned Wednesday. And so I was expecting, you're gonna send me something today. And then I checked and I noticed that you did post on Monday, and as you sent me email, I somehow didn't see that email. So I was really expecting that to be posted today. That's why you didn't get your answer sooner. Anyhow, now I have it, and let's do an overview. Now, I did look over, and very first, what I have to say is that just because the camera movement, you have a opportunity, you have a possibility that you move camera, doesn't mean that you're supposed to abuse camera. And actually that's what you did, because watching your play blast, I got seasick. I have a hard time to stand on my legs straight. It's really is messing up with me because it is going and going, and that I mean, I don't know exactly what is the point of it, because this is animation class, and focus supposed to be on animation. But when you put such a camera movements in, it's impossible to focus on animation. You're focused only how to hold yourself not to fall over, because everything is moving so much. So definitely is not something that actually is, good for your shot overall. I mean, if somebody is looking for good animation, it's not going to be able to see it. And if you're hoping that you're going to cover bad animation, again, wrong, because it is going through. So, and what is the point of hiding a bad animation? You have to learn how to make good animation, not to hide bad animation. And trust me, there is all over the place what we would call bad animation, simply because it seems to me that you simply did not read material that you were supposed to. And I don't know, I mean, is that your first animation walk that you did? This is like already portfolio 4. So you didn't do any walks so far, because the elementary, the basics of the walk are missing. Like the guy doesn't have all 4 poses. I'm talking about contacts, down, passing, and up poses. I think you have only contacts and passings. Then, one of the most important parts of the walk is a weight shift. When person is lifting a foot, he has to shift the weight on the opposite leg that becomes supporting leg. I don't see any leg shifting at all. So lots of problems on the walk. Like basic walk is not really working. Let's take a look what you have. Alright, so the guy is walking. Now, look at this camera. Wow. Going back and forth. What about this leg here? Now, what about this face? Did he saw a monster behind the corner? Landing a spaceship? What he saw? Zombies coming in? That's what this face is telling me. It doesn't look like, whoa, somebody left the wallet. Nice. It just doesn't. And then you didn't really give us time to read that, because everything is moving so much. Where exactly is a moment when he saw that? Plus, look at him. Why is he looking around? Is he looking for the lost dog? Is he looking for his friend who was supposed to be here? What's going on? Why is he looking around? if he's looking around so much, it would be even hard to see that wallet. And is it wallet or cell phone, something like that? But really, it doesn't matter, right? And then when he sees it here somewhere, there is no anticipation, there is no take. Try to Google animation take, T-A-K-E, take. You'll see what that means. You know, when the character is looking at something, you're supposed to make it like he doesn't see it right away, but you know, after a second he actually noticed something. You know, like in real life, when you're looking something and then you notice it and you're kind of like, whoa, like kind of like a double take or something. You're like, whoa, your eyes are opening wider and then closing because like you just notice what you didn't, although it was in front of you for a while. You know, you kind of get surprised. So he doesn't have that. He just stops very stiffly. And we don't even see that because you're not allowing to see that because you cut in with the camera so much. So basically, you're hiding your animation. This is, like I said, supposed to be focused on animation. Why is he in that position? I mean, usually you've seen people when they notice something, they are in this kind of positions. It's this kind of strange, unusual pose. So he is walking without any shifting the weight, and also I can see from here that there is no foot roll on the feet. He walks very like a flat wooden, like Pinocchio. It looks like somebody is holding him here on the strings, just pulling up and down, up and down. That's how it looks. Okay, so it's a cell phone. Now, we go closer to him. But I can see that something is happening with the feet. The feet are not stable. It feels like he is on ice or something like that. Why he goes back here? Why he slides back? He never blinks. Every time when we are turning our heads or changing the eye direction, we blink as a humans. So that is completely something natural for us to see. And if we are looking at somebody who doesn't do that, it is strange. You're not supposed to stretch the limbs over the limits. This is a rig, and you know, stretching over the limits of the rig is not really what you are supposed to do. What you did here is what is needed throughout all his sneaking. You see, he has both legs down, both feet. Then one goes up and you put it down. Now, when this one is down, it becomes supporting leg, and then this one can go forward like that. But you don't have those poses here. That's why this is happening. Look at him. Does that look very flexible, human-like movement? Overlaps. You have to have breakdowns for purpose of building overlaps. Have you ever heard of the word overlap in animation? Google that too, because the movement has to come or from the hip. That means that hip would start moving first, and then the spine controls, and then finally the head, if he is, for example, turning and he's still looking back, or his head starts moving first, and as a chain reaction everything else moves, and finally hips are moving, but not at the same time. Nothing in animation starts or stops moving at the same time. That's why we are working on overlaps. Look at those arms. Why this arm, for example, didn't stay behind on the wall? It would look much more natural. Contact, although contacts are always with a heel down, unless he is doing something special. You might say that he is doing something special here as a sneaking, but I just don't buy it because there is so much wrong things with it. You cannot lift this foot if the whole weight of this character is over that supporting leg. How you can lift that leg? I would like you to try, please. Stand up on your legs and spread your legs, and then completely evenly spread your legs where the body is right in the middle between your legs, and then without moving hips, try to lift one of the legs. Let me see if you're gonna be able to do it. You did not use down pose for walks ever. Probably not even up pose. All what you have is contacts and passing walks. And then I don't understand this. It's not like we are animating some Warner Brothers cartoons where actually that would be acceptable. This is a human one, and you as a student, you are supposed to show me that actually you know how to animate a human character. In order for this to be believable, this cannot be happening because I've never seen on the street anybody doing this. Have you? In order for this to be believable, there are at least like 3 or 4 keys needed. You cannot just get from one key pose to this one and letting Maya connect it. You need breakdowns, few of them, and maybe even a keys to solve this movement. The more complicated movements have more breakdowns. Simple movements from one key to another key can go only with the one breakdown. But I don't think you have any. You are completely fighting against the laws of the nature. There is no gravity working here at all. The character is supposed to first put the foot down straight to make a contact with the ground, and then the body can go over that leg. So there is a lots of missing. I mean, the knowledge of movement is very, very thin here, and I would definitely encourage you to go and read about it. There must be stuff. I mean, it's on FSO stuff that you are supposed to read. Go and look how the walks are made. What is essential in one simple generic walk? What you're supposed to do with the legs, what you're supposed to do with the arms. You can Google it, you can go on YouTube. I mean, that kind of material is everywhere. But you know, I don't understand how come I mean, you passed your classes so far. How did you pass your previous animation classes where you had walks if you did just this? I don't believe it. So you forgot it, or I don't know what's going on, man. Well, actually, I had to open a Maya because there was lots of stuff that I just couldn't understand from your play blast. So I opened Maya and I went to to take a look, because I would like, when I'm talking, I wanna I wanna talk with some credibility behind me. So there we go. If this is your first pose, right? I don't know exactly which one is it. Is it passing? For passing, this foot is a little bit too forward. This one looks like a up pose, but actually it's not, because his heel supposed to be up, and leg, this one's supposed to be almost all stretched. So it's some, but it's not one of those that you need. Which one is this pose? Is that up? Well, if that's up, I don't see him going up. He's just on the same level as the previous one. And this is a normal walk, right? So he's supposed to walk just casually. Later on, he sneaks. So maybe later on, I would accept this kind of landing with the foot, where when you are sneaking, you might actually contact ground with the front, with the toes. But with a regular walk, and this is regular walk till he actually noticed that phone over there, he is supposed to land with a heel. I mean, is that really first time you hear that from me? That the contacts are contacts with the heel and the toes are up? So now he goes down. Is that down pose? I guess if this is a contact on the toes, what is wrong? Now let's say this is down pose. But if this is passing, it shouldn't be completely stretched, and also should not go up with the heel, should be flat, just like on down pose, flat. If that's a passing, what is this one? Where is the up pose? Up pose is missing. If this is a contact, he's not supposed to land flat. He's supposed to land on the heel. There is no down pose. You go right from contact to passing one. And then you go to another contact, flat. Passing, he should be flat here. Up pose, okay, actually it looks like it's up pose, but for some reason he is not going up in his hip nor his head. If that's a up pose, if this heel is going up, that's pushing whole leg up. How come it's not pushing the hip and the head? What is that? For 11 frames, we have a movement only on arms and one leg. And I said before that isolated moves are something that we are trying to avoid as much as a play. When you're moving a character, you're supposed to move it with the hips just a little bit. And then you do the rest what you have to. You cannot have just arms or one leg or something like that moving and the rest being frozen. how this happened. There should be definitely key between this and that. If this one is left hand is left arm, left hand, left arm, my gosh. If left leg is down on the ground and this one is up, to change that, there has to be one key where the both legs are on the ground and then this one can get up. And look where is the balance of his body, over here. That means that the balance is off because it's impossible for him to lift this leg up if his body is over that leg. Simple physics. Why his legs are, in this case, his right leg, foot, why is sliding? Again, both feet are sliding. Again, feet are sliding. Is he on ice? Is he ice skating? Look at that. All this time you didn't even touch any of these controls on his back. He's completely stiff, like he had a car accident a few days ago and now he cannot move. All these hopping is unrealistic because I think you did it simply because you didn't know better. I don't know why he's going back now, why he's sliding back. And then why this move? This is something that you are not supposed to animate. You move this thing at the beginning of the shot, wherever you want that character to start animation, and then you just leave it there. So I don't know why it jumped here. Still sliding. He's gonna be sliding all the way through. Okay, here is fine, you see. That's how it's supposed to be. One leg is supposed to be on the ground, securely on the ground, while the other one is moving. That looks fine. That looks fine, although it would be nice if he actually moved all his weight over this supporting leg. Now again, both feet are sliding, sliding. This is impossible to do because if you're going so much down with the foot, I mean with the leg, the heel on this foot would have to go up, otherwise it would be very painful over here. He never did anything with his back. He's very stiff in upper body. Everything moves. Where is the key of this? I can see now that actually his leg is moving. So why I don't see a key? Whenever you're making keys, you're supposed to select all controls and then key all. So basically on every key, like for example this one, all controls have to be there. They have to be keyed on that particular frame. Let's say 234. On that frame, if that's a key, all controls have to be keyed on it. So if you have to move later on this key from this position to some other position, it's easy just to select it and move it. if you have only certain controls of certain body parts on particular frame, then you cannot move that stuff, and everything becomes huge mess if you have to actually shuffle your keys around. What's happened with this leg? You are supposed to show me that you know how to animate human body in convincing, believable way. This is not it. This is done once when you are in real production, with the purposes of, if that's the whole theme of the animated show or movie, where the character can actually stretch his legs or arms, just like in the Pixar movie, right? Incredibles, where elastic girl can actually stretch. Well, that's a different story. But trust me that those animators, they know how to do regular movements of the regular body, human body first, and then they can push and do something that is unusual. That's why we are trying to teach you here how to do regular, believable stuff. And stretching leg like this is not convincing, I'm sorry. That turn of the body I already was talking about, it, how it has to happen as a chain reaction. If you start with the hips or you start with the head, but it goes, if you start with the head, it goes from the from upper torso with the spine controls, and finally hips are turning. Or if you start with the hips, then it goes up the spine and finally head. Not like this. And then the foot is supposed to go down nicely and has to contact with the heel. There is no down poses. There is no I'm seriously confused, to be honest with you, because I don't think you really addressed notes that I sent you last time. So I'm gonna stop here because there is no point of me repeating myself. I would like if you can actually work on it, and if you can send me something tomorrow or day after tomorrow, it would be great. So I can I can go over and I can see that basically you understand, that you go over, study a bit, and then try to imply the stuff into. So I have to see that you understand how to make simple walk, generic walk. I have to see it, otherwise I don't know what to say. How to help you. I mean, tell me, send me email. What you want me to do? All right. I think I was talking quite a bit, so I'm really waiting for you to send me something again, to submit something before Sunday. So if you submit me something before, I can take a look. I can send you back some critiques and some, and you can work over a little bit more, and then finally you can, of course, submit on Sunday. So it would be nice actually if I can give you a little bit more of input. All right, so that much from me. Thank you.